there, Tony. These days I don't understand you at all.
Colonel, I know what you're thinking, and you can just unthink it this very minute. Because I've been up to the top of that thing once, and that's once too many for any sane man.
Tony, what kind of an attitude is that for a fine, upstanding young fella like you to take?
I ain't saying it ain't gonna work one of these days, but you know yourself, every good invention's gonna fall on its face at least 2 times before it works, don't you?
I don't understand you young people nowadays. You ain't got no more adventure and spirit in you than a snail has got. If I was your age and I wasn't so wild around the nares here, I'd be shinning up there and I'd come off there like a bird just to prove to the world and everybody in circus business that I was the first fella to do a thing like that.
You would, huh?
Yes, sir.
Then you'd be the last man to do it, too.
I declare, Tony, what's the matter with you? You used to show us around this show that you were versatile, that you like to double in brass, but now all you like to do is to ride your pony out and buck a few times for us, scare up some Indians that's probably more scared of you than you are of them.
That's what you hired me for, though, wasn't it? Huh?
All right. Well, I go telling around that my old pal Tony Gentry let me down, and I'll get somebody else.
You just think you will.
I don't know. They just don't make men like they used to make back in my days. Why? But you can't tell me that even in this saggy day and age that there ain't a few real men, he-men out here somewheres. That's it, Tony. Come on, easy does it.
How did Casey ever convince him?
Convince him? No. Tony just figured rather than being nagged to death, he'd get it over with all at once.
Told you that would happen.
Yeah. Wait a minute there, young fella. How'd you know that rig was going to snap?
I think it's wrong to try to save money on wiring when a man's life depends on it.
Well, now, who said anything about saving money? That's as good a wire as money can buy.
Thoughtlessness, ignorance, the cause of more deaths each year than any amount of criminal intent.
What makes you such an expert on somebody else's ignorance?
Education. The physical sciences.
Well, does your education tell you here that our rig is about to come unglued or something?
Oh, it's feasible. Just about. But you'll have to use steel cable with a tensile strength of about, I'd say about 700 pounds.
How'd you know all that?
In physics, the relationship between energy and matter is measurable. I can lend you a book on it if you promise not to tell my father. Now, where's my room?
Your room?
Yes, my room. Could one of you gentlemen help me with the heavy trunk?
Well, here, I'll help you.
Tony, wait a minute. Do you mind telling us who sent for you?
Isn't that silly? I almost forgot. I'm looking for a friend of my father's, a Colonel Casey Thompson.
Wait a minute now. Who is your father?
General Earl Youngblood, United States Army.
Old Iron Bands? Are you his son?
Are you Casey?
Yeah.
Boy, am I glad to meet you. My father thinks the world of you.
Your old man's always been aces up on my deck, too, son. Why'd he send you out here to me?
Oh. You'll find it here in this letter.
Have a look at this here. Dear Colonel Thompson. It says here that you almost broke his heart when you wouldn't go to West Point. What's all this got to do with me?
Well, he's taken it as a personal affront that a son of his should be a coward and not have the decency to be ashamed of it.
Just exactly what does he think the circus can do for you?
Well, make a man out of me, I suppose.
What are you now?
I think you'll find that in the letter, too.
Yeah. It says here that he's always dreamed of having a male child to follow in his footsteps. Says he's done everything short of drowning to make something manly out of this no-account, worthless, milk-livered bookworm that he spawned.
He's a fierce one, isn't he?
Fierce? He could chew into a cannonball and spit out a barbed wire fence.
I once saw him do it. Which way?
I'll show you. Follow me.
Okay.
Casey, you don't plan to undertake this, do you?
Then his dad is trusting me. You wouldn't want me to turn my old commanding officer down a little favor like that, would you? Besides that, his father saved my life a many time in battle.
Are you sure it's not just that after all these years you still can't say no to your old general? Huh?
Yeah, I reckon. Don't you think we can make something out of that young fella? If we can make him wish he'd have never left home. Huh? Nice going, young fella. About 300 more buckets ought to do it just fine.
Casey, by the time you need that water, half of it's going to be evaporated.
Oh, there's plenty more where that come from. Come on, get a move on you.
Casey, I just can't carry anymore.
You want to make a man yourself, you got to do an honest day's work. Sun's drying that water out as fast as you put it in there. Get moving.
Ben? What's Casey doing to that man?
Oh, he's being kind to him.
Being what?
He's trying to convince him he'd be better off at West Point.
Not making very much progress, is he?
But, you know, kindness takes a little while to sink in.
Casey?
Huh?
You know what you ought to do to keep that from evaporating?
What?
Pour some oil on top of it.
Oh, well. Well, it costs money, Earl. Come on, let's get this filled up to the top. I want to try it out this afternoon.
Casey?
Huh?
You know what else that oil would be good for, aside from retarding the rate of evaporation?
What else?
Well, you could set fire to it.
What for?
Then you could advertise it as a man diving into a tank of flaming oil.
Oh, Earl, you're talking like you've been out in the sun too long.
Oh, but it's perfectly safe. The fire would only be on top.
How do you know?
Well, fire can't burn without oxygen, and the splash of hitting the tank would put it out in a second.
Oh, no. I think I've got aggravation enough getting Tony to go up there and jump off without him thinking he's going to end up becoming a broiled lamb chop or something. Mm-mm.
Get up there. Look at me.
You know, Ben, all that work I've been piling on that boy's sore back. You think he'd be so provoked he'd take the next train home, but he just keeps coming back for more. I expect any day now to see a bunch of hair sprouting out all over his chest.
Well, maybe he just figures he'd rather have you bully him than his old man.
You know something, Ben? He's been a powerful help in explaining some safety factors on that high diving act, too.
Safety factors? What good are they if you can't get anybody to go up that ladder, Casey?
could get somebody to go up there. If you'd go up there first and show 'em how.
There's Casey. Look, you know I'll do most anything if I think there's a 50-50 chance. So far, I don't feel that way about your dive.
Never saw so many men so uninterested in picking up a fast $20.
You think it's possible we're paying him too much?
Oh, Ben, you reckon we could get Tony up there just one more time if we showed him it was safe, like maybe dropping off a bag of sand?
You know, Casey, a man and a bag of sand don't behave the same way in the air. Just ask Earl. He'll tell you. I mean, there's wind velocity, rate of acceleration, force of impact.
Yeah, he's a perfect smart aleck, ain't he? He knows all about them things. Where is he?
Oh, you'll probably find him mooning around Pamela. Good thing if you ask me. The sooner he learns to stand on his own 2 feet, the better.
You forget what happened to the last fella who was trying to make goo-goo eyes at her.
Get over there. Get back. Get back there. Back. Stop it. Stop it. Get back there. Get back. Get back there, you.
Shocking, isn't it?
Get over there.
Weak female having all that courage? How's that make you feel?
What's courage?
Get back.
Just a matter of good reflexes and poor imagination. Some people have it, some don't.
Get up there. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there.
Well, I guess he ain't too impressed with you. That much he ain't.
It takes character to admit you're afraid.
Earl! Earl! That's something I want you to help me figure out.
Yes, Casey. A body weighing 165 pounds, accelerating at the rate of 32 feet per second squared.
I didn't know you was the kind of fella that went around picking wildflowers in the nighttime.
Lots of things you don't know about me.
Earl, I think you got yourself a real rival there. You better start thinking about taking care of yourself. You think you're about ready to give up being a coward?
Lemonade! Lemonade! Get your ice cold lemonade. Penny a cup. Lemonade here. Lemonade! It's your ice cold lemonade. 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 Lemonade here. Ice cold lemonade here.
Hey, boy!
Oh,
Come here.
yes, sir.
Let me have a cup of that.
Cup of lemonade. Yes, sir. Coming up, sir. That'll be a penny, sir. 1 penny.
Yeah?
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Lemonade. Thank you. That'll be a penny, sir. That's a penny, sir.
Hey, boy, what kind of fishy stuff you put in this lemonade?
Why, sir, I've used nothing but the finest ingredients. I made it with my own hands.
Yeah? Look.
Help! Help! Cut that out! Hey! Help! 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 You cut that out! Right out! Hey! Ow! Ow! Ooh! All right, now what happened? Gosh, Miss Pamela, you didn't have to do that. Those nice folks might have done you an injury. Oh, no.
Look at that.
Somebody must have put that in there.
And I suppose you don't know who it was.
Why, it could have been anybody.
You know perfectly well who it was.
Yeah, I guess I do.
What are you going to do about it?
Who, me?
Well, you don't expect me to do anything about it.
Well, not if you don't want to.
You are hopeless. A man who won't stand up and fight back. No wonder your father couldn't bear to have you around.
Pamela?
We have nothing further to say to each other.
Yeah, I just heard what happened.
That was a mean thing to do, wasn't it?
Sure, it was a mean thing to do, Earl, but the question is, what are you going to do about it?
Who, me?
Well, I can't fight your battles. You got to learn how to take care of yourself on this circus.
Sure. The law of the jungle. My father's been trying to beat it into me for years.
Look, Earl, I'm going to give you just 24 hours more to prove that I ain't been wrong in trying to make a man out of you instead of something that the dogs is drugged under the house. Now, there's a train leaving for the east tomorrow afternoon. I want you to prove to me or give me a good reason why you shouldn't be on that train, son.
Casey,
Huh?
what should I do?
Well, Earl, you're pretty good figuring things out, like the tensile strength of this wire. Why don't you try figuring it out yourself, son?
Hey.
You looking for me, boy?
Looking for you? Well, no. What gives you that idea?
Know something, Ben? That woman knows that there's 101 ways around a circus that a fella could croak himself if he wanted to make an impression on a female.
You know, maybe just possible she feels the same way he does.
I'll believe that the day I see it.
Maybe you just haven't been looking.
Well, no, wait a minute. I can put a stop to that right now.
How's that?
Well, they say if you want to cure a disease, you give it a stronger dose of the same poison.
Casey, this boy's suffering from love sickness, not snake bite.
Now, why don't you take the time out sometime to explain the difference to me? All I know is a year ago when we had that tight wire artist on the show, he got to walking on that wire making goo-goo eyes to the girl. He fell off. She ran up there and scooped him up in her arms. She was sorry for it at the time, but that was too late. But it ain't too late now.
Well, why don't you just send him home and be done with it?
Can't do it. Old Iron Pants, his father, he's coming out to see how the boy's doing.
Now, who invited him?
Ben, you don't invite a general out. Generals go where they want to. Washington's been having trouble with them for years, and he's liable to start a war with us.
Well, that's fine, but now, don't you expect me to be on the reception committee?
I heard your father's an honest to Bob general.
That's right.
Be doggone if my daddy was a general if I'd let anybody grind my nose into the dirt like that. I'd show him what I was made of.
You would? How?
Come here. Now listen to me, Earl. Miss Pamela's just been dying to see you do something manly and venturesome.
Like what?
Well, like Bill the cat. Take the bull by the horns. Beard the lion in his den. Get me?
Gee, she say all that?
Well, you don't expect her to make a public announcement of her most intimate feelings now, do you? Boy, it just means he's hungry.
Oh? Well, maybe he ought to have his dinner first.
Oh, no, he doesn't get fed until after rehearsal. Just like a human being. He won't work unless he's hungry.
Well, couldn't you maybe kind of give him a sandwich or something just to tide him over?
Earl, are you sure your father's a general? Anybody think you were afraid?
I am not afraid. Shouldn't I have a gun or something?
You wanted a chance to prove yourself with Pamela, didn't you?
Didn't I?
Well, didn't you?
Of course I did.
Now, pick up that chair. Go on, pick it up and show him who's master.
What if he is?
Rest assured, if he eats you, he gets no dinner tonight.
Hello. Wait a minute. Just stay there.
Who let you in here?
Where's Manfredi?
What do you want him for?
Like to have a talk with him. Casey, old man, when are you gonna let me do something dangerous?
Never if I can prevent it. Listen, your papa's coming here, and he's gonna take you back home with him.
My who? Casey! Well, I'm not going back. He can't make me. Can he? Casey, I just figured how much of a powder charge it would take to shoot a man out of a cannon for a distance of 1,000 yards.
How much?
You want to see it?
No, Earl, I'm having too much trouble getting some fella to shinny up there and dive off from that little platform into that great big ocean of water.
I'd do it.
Yeah, I reckon hoping you would, Earl. Earl, I'm gonna have to have a little talk with you. Look, son, as long as you got your heart set on getting it broke, you should show as much reason as a hound dog would if he knowed he's barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah, I suppose so. I've got to do something soon. I've got to do something to make her wish that she'd have stopped me in time.
Emma?
I got to do something awful, Casey. Something I'm really grab her by the heart.
Earl, if you want to really grab old Casey by the heart, grab this bucket here and help me fill that tank up, will you, son? Come on, son. I'll take care of it. Come on, right here. That's the boy. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. You know, I knew a man once who taught his kids to swim by tossing them in a lake.
In a lake?
Yeah. Well, he lost 5 kids before he got one that could swim, but nobody could ever accuse him of pampering them.
Oh, now, see here, Travis. Hey, Ben.
Earl, get off that ladder!
Hey, wait a minute, Ben. You don't suppose that he might be able to... No, not Earl. You might as well get him down from there.
Earl, take a look at that tank. Didn't you ever learn to compute the rate of evaporation?
Of course I have. Degree of heat per square foot of surface. How's that going to get me down?
Well, you could try climbing down.
I can't.
Oh, you grown men just going to stand here and talk, or is someone going to help him?
Well, as Earl would say, first you have to define the problem before you can solve it. Carry him, huh?
I reckon.
Earl, just stay where you are.
Pitiful sight, isn't it?
Casey,
Huh?
how many other men in the circus have at least tried to do it?
What do you want to do? Get him killed? Fine time I'd have explaining that to his father.
Besides, you'd never find another volunteer, would you?
I resent that.
All right, Earl, just easy now. All right. Try to turn around now. All right. Over my shoulder. Put your arm over my shoulder. Now the other one. Come on. Come on. All right. Here we go.
Casey,
Hmm?
you gonna put me on that train?
No, I reckon not. You've showed us you got something, even if it ain't good common sense.
You know why I really did it, don't you, Casey?
Yeah, Pamela. Earl, they ain't no woman worth breaking your neck over.
I never wanted to be brave before in my whole life. But now, I know she can't respect a man unless he is.
Earl, this high diving business, this ain't for you.
Casey, what's wrong with me?
Why, there ain't nothing wrong with you. I think you're a fine young fella, but you gotta be trained for a thing like this. Besides, I don't think you got physical coordination to go through with it.
Well, how do you know if you won't let me try it?
Oh, Earl. There ain't nothing I'd rather see with these tired old eyeballs of mine than somebody doing that high diving act for me. This just ain't for you. Besides, you can't become a hero in just one gulp. You gotta work up to it.
How? By selling lemonade?
No, but you could get yourself squared away one way by, with that fella Manfredi.
What's that gonna prove?
Well, prove you ain't gonna get your bones broken in just one time.
I'm sorry, Casey. I'm willing to try anything. But physical violence makes me ill. It does. It really does.
Now, you listen to me, Earl. I catch you shinning up that high ladder just one more time, I'll skin you alive. I'll tack you high up on one of these circus wagons. So help me, Hannah, I'll do it.
Casey?
Hmm?
Haven't you ever heard the saying? Faint heart, never won fair lady?
Watch me. Get in the cage. Get in the cage. Back up there. How do you like him?
Yeah, I think he's real fine. Pamela, I want to talk to you.
Oh?
It's about Earl. Don't you think that you could arrange to kind of stay away from him?
Shouldn't you talk to him about that?
Oh, nobody can talk to him ever since he's laid eyes on you.
What do you want me to do about it?
One, you can be mean to him, anything to just keep him from breaking his doggone neck around here, just so that you will notice him.
Oh, I've noticed him all right.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm proud of him. Casey, in his whole life, no one's ever really believed in him.
I don't know, but you better save them pretty words for the day we're going to have to plow that boy under. All right, Ben, let it go.
Casey,
Huh?
you forgot just one thing. To check the weight of the falling object against the velocity of the wind.
Thanks.
You satisfied now, Casey? Huh?
Well, man ain't like a dummy.
You can bet your life on that. Man's got a bit more sense.
Bet he has. Man's got real human intelligence. He can point himself in any direction he wants to go to.
Well, not this man. I suppose you'd be a lot happier if it was me that was laying there, huh?
Oh.
Casey, want me to go up and try it?
Hmm?
Well, it's like you say, man's got the human intelligence.
Earl, don't you have any normal feelings of self-preservation?
Well, sure I do. But there's really no danger if you figure it right.
And if you don't?
Earl, look, your old man might find out you ain't making much progress on this show, but he's going to find you above the ground.
Earl, you stay off that thing, you hear?
Yes, sir.
Casey, I don't think it was too wise an idea to leave that thing up. Townspeople are going to start asking questions, going to expect something. And if we disappoint them, they're apt to get hostile, tear up a chair or two.
All right, I'll get some of the rousters to unrig it right after lunch.
It's too late for that, Colonel.
What do you mean, too late?
Well, the whole town's buzzing about the high dive act. You boys are going to have a big crowd here.
They are?
Yeah.
Tony, would you do it for 50 of these silver cart wheels, huh?
Tony Gentry was last seen heading back to Virginia in a cloud of dust.
Oh, relax, Tony. Nobody's going to force you to do anything you don't want to do.
All right, Ben, but you keep him away from me, because that man there, he could charm buttermilk out of a rattlesnake.
You're getting more bone lazy every day. Ben, don't you think we could fool him one more time with the dummy, huh? Please?
No, Casey.
Hey, Ben.
Stand up straight, with your chest out and your head up, and your arms to the side.
Now, what's that crazy coot up to?
Okay, now get ready.
Well, looky here. Now, is that the way you're gonna greet your daddy?
I think you'll be magnificent. The trouble with you is you have no confidence in him. The way you're treating me, might as well be home with his mother.
Earl, we appreciate your good intentions, but forget about it, will you?
Why? Look at that crowd out there.
Yeah, they're here kind of early.
Ben, we ain't had this many people in days.
I don't think those folks are going to take too kindly to being disappointed.
Earl, that's our responsibility. If necessary, I'll offer their money back. In the meantime, why don't you go and see if you can sell some lemonade?
Those people out there don't look like they want their money back.
Looks like today I get my feet wet.
I'm glad you're going to do it, but I didn't know it was going to come down to this.
Neither did I. Well, don't worry about it, Casey. We'll make it work. It's too good a stunt to give up on. Well, they haven't gone away.
Ben, I sure wish there was some other way out of this.
So do I, Casey.
Earl, get off that ladder! Earl!
Casey, you're a marvel. General, gosh, I'm glad to see you. Glad you could make it, sir.
2 months. You made a man out of that miserable little pup up there. Tell me, how'd you do it, huh?
Well,
I knew you could do it, son. You're coming straight back to West Point with me. You hear that?
Yes, sir.
I wish this was all over.
I don't, Casey.
What?
Well, until he jumps, we've still got a chance. You better get out there.
Come on, Charlie. Hurry. Put it down there, Charlie. Ladies and gentlemen, the T&T Circus proudly presents, for your kind indulgence, edification, and amusement, for the first time in the western part of this civilized world, one of the greatest hair-raising, one of the greatest circus attractions ever presented in the annals of circus history. At this time, we proudly present, ladies and gentlemen, the great Earl D. Dallas, known as the Human Bird. And ladies and gentlemen, the management also wishes to announce that in back of the cook tent, we have proper medical facilities to take care of those people whose nerves have been shattered watching this terrifying spectacle. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Here, that's what he wants.
creature?
My friend. A good friend.
You know you can't get into West Point with a wife?
I'm not going to West Point. I'm staying here with the circus to carry out experiments concerned with the attraction of falling bodies. Goodbye, Dad. Give my love to Mom. Sir?
Children, me and Ben did the best we could by you, boy.
Nonsense. You did make a man out of the little pup. Thanks.
Thanks, General. Hey, Ben. I think I've started something around here we ain't gonna be able to put a stop to. Look at him. He keeps on practicing.
Don't worry, Casey. I think he'll be able to do it.
Yeah, but if he pushes that ladder up any further, he'll be jumping off the moon.
Don't mention that to him. He's liable to give it a try.